such a beautiful darshan, such a phenomenal darshan of Bhagavan Simhagna Murti manifesting through his Paramavatara, through his Nijavatara at Swamiji. And I see all the chats are flooded with messages of gratitude, each of you expressing how you all enjoyed this beautiful darshan. Today's darshan, what Swamiji has blessed all of us with, please understand, this darshan has liberated you from the Maya matrix, all the Maya, the delusion that you're stuck in. Anywhere in your life, wherever you feel, wherever you feel, you're stuck in that delusion. Just this one darshan, literally, Swamiji has liberated all of us from that delusion, all of us from that Maya. And now, in that very same space, in that powerful space of being liberated from the Maya matrix, now ferociously decide, Swamiji has already blessed you, ferociously decide to break free from the Maya matrix. And in that space, we will now be doing the power manifestation. We will be entering into the power manifestation, where we will be doing another exciting round of the Dura Shruti for all the participants. Actually, right now, see, understand, with this initiation, what Swamiji has initiated all of us into has established your inner space in the deep Paramashanta. How many of you are experiencing that intense bliss and peace happening in you? Can I request you all to post? How many of you are experiencing that intense peace and bliss happening in you right now? I see so many messages that people have posted. How each of you are experiencing that gratitude, how each of you are experiencing that complete peace inside of you. Actually, understand, this space, this state is exactly what we call Paramashanta. Absolute peace, Shanti based Shakti, Shanti based Bhakti, and Shanti based Mukti. Balasubramaniamaya, you have posted yes, and I see all the others as well. Actually, right now, all the participants listen carefully. With this initiation, you can manifest an extraordinary capability. You will be able to hear beyond the parameters of distance or time. Each of you will be able to experience it right now. You just need to harness the space that Swamiji has blessed. And you will be able to, let's say, for example, your friend is in another part of the world and they are listening to music or sound. You will be able to hear precisely the exact sound they are listening to. You will be able to hear that. You will know what exactly they are listening to. And transcending all the boundaries, the parameters of time and space, you'll be able to manifest. Shall we all manifest this power? What we are going to do now is, myself and Ma Madhura, we are going to be listening to some sounds. It could be any random sounds, just like how we did in the morning, right? It could be any random sound. It could be songs, anything. You're going to now scan and identify precisely what is the exact sound we are listening to. Ready? Ma Kala Kala Priye, Ma, I see all the other participants. Can I request all of you to sit straight? Just establish yourself in that absolute Paramashanta Swarupa. And all the participants who are not on camera, I request each of you to come on camera so you understand this power manifestation after darshan is so powerful. It will actually help in all the initiation that we got during the darshan. It will help in actually making that a part of our very consciousness, a part of our very being, and actually manifesting those powerful cognitions as a reality on the outside as powers. So, Ma Dhanalakshmi, Ma Shionyu, Ma Jayalakshmi, Shion Vangaya. Can I request each of you to come on camera as we start the power manifestation? Actually, see, now what we are going to do is, we are going to be listening and you will not be able to hear anything like physically. What you're going to do is, you're going to be connecting through the third eye, and you're going to be, by establishing yourself in absolute Paramashanta, you are going to be hearing the exact audio we are listening to. So I'll give you all an example. Right now, what happens is, majority of the time, there's so much inner chatter that happens in you. So half the time you don't even listen to the conversation. Forget about people who are 100 kilometers away from you. Even the person right next to you, we barely listen to because so much inner chatter happens in us. Now, With this darshan, you are in that absolute Paramashanta, that complete inner peace. Inner peace is too small a word, but correct translation. You are going to know with that inner peace, any sound happening at any distance, just by tuning in your awareness in that region, you will be able to hear that sound. So this is what we are going to do. Now, in the count of three, myself and Mamadra, we are going to be listening to certain sounds. It could be any audio. And I'm going to request you all to scan and identify what is the exact sound. If all of you are clear with the power manifestation process, can I request you all to please put yes, I am understanding in the chat. And if any of you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Please take a moment. I request you all to post if you are clear with this power so we can enter into the power manifestation. Okay, Ma Priyatma Swarupini Sisters, Balasubramanyamaya. Okay. Shall we begin now? Nithyananda Ma Monica, Nithyananda Ma Ramini Devi. Yeah, actually, this is a very interesting power. Like now, as you start playing with the power, it will be so fun. Even maybe you may be connecting with some of your one of your friends or your family members who are miles and miles away in a different country, but you will actually still be able to listen to them. You may not even need to call them. They may just be saying something in their mind, or like they may be wanting to convey something to you, and you will be able to listen to it. You will be able to know it. And actually, you will see as you manifest this power, all the inner chatter that you have inside, it will start coming down to start reducing. So right now we are going to be manifesting this power. And can I request all the participants to settle down? Please close your eyes. Just tune yourself into that exact space that you experience in the darshan. Raise your frequency high to experience that same space of oneness with Swamiji. In the count of three, we are going to be muting, so you will not hear anything physically, but you are going to now be connecting to Swamiji and identifying precisely what is the sound that you are hearing. Please close your eyes. Connect to Swamiji deeply. And the Maharashtra, Om Nithyananda Paramashivaham. Bring the deep Paramashanta inside you. And now, in the count of three, we will be muting ourselves and listening to the audio. We request you all to connect to Swamiji and scan and identify. In three, two, and one. Yes. Now, I request all the participants to please post every one of you post what is the exact sound you heard. Matthew Vaiskare, you will not hear anything physically. See, understand, you're saying you couldn't hear anything physically. See, you're going to be connecting in the third eye. This is beyond the parameters of time and distance. It is purely based on your Shakti, that entanglement with Swamiji. Experience a deep connection where any audio, see, understand, in the whole Mahabharata, whatever you're reading as Bhagavad Gita right now, how did we get it? Sanjaya, who is sitting hundreds of miles away from the battlefield, he hears a whispering conversation that is happening. Literally, Krishna is having the most private conversation with Arjuna. Sanjaya is somewhere else in the palace, but he can hear the audio in crystal clarity, and he will translate the exact same thing to Dhritarashtra. This entire thing, it's not just remote vision, it's also remote hearing, because the parameters of time and distance does not matter when it comes to experiencing that Shakti Pada, because you're in such a high frequency. So you experience so much of bliss and joy in you. Catching it? Okay, come on. I request every one of you to post whatever was the exact audio that you listened to.
Okay, so we have, I'm seeing Swamiji's face, which resemble song related to Swamiji, sung by a female. Okay.
Okay, come on. Every one of you post.
Teresa has posted.
All right. And come on, everyone else also please post. Balasubramanyamaya, why don't you also go ahead and post? And Ma Kala Kala Priye.
Ma Margarita Vasconcelos, Ma Stephanie Lyle, Ma Iqbal Bano, Ma Patricia,
Maranak, come on, you also post. Every one of you post what each of you are seeing through the third eye.
Okay, Ma Ish has posted.
Okay. Okay, very interesting. All right. Now I'm going to keep the rounds a little shorter so we can cover more. Now I'm going to be replaying the exact audio, the exact sound that we were listening to. And I'm going to request you all to provide your complete listening, and you all can verify with what exactly each of you saw.
Tataya nache bola, Bam Baba baje. Tataya nache bola, Bam Baba baje. Tataya nache bola, Dimi tamaro baje, Dimi tamaro. Ulice kapale maan, karaje ganga jata maj, ukare anala titular.
Yes. So, as all of you heard, this is the exact song where Swamiji himself has sung the song. And this is a very beautiful song that is like about life, the truths about life, sung by Swami Vivekananda, and Swamiji's own voice. And actually, many of you have seen Swamiji, and I see Balasubramanyamaya, you said you saw Swamiji, and also I see few of you posted, you saw Swamiji. Understand, this is a very, very big step for your manifestation. Okay, Masumati, what I'm saying is once again sit and do, that's fine. You sit and do once more, and you'll be able to get more and more precise.
See, as you start playing with the power and manifesting the power more, you will actually see you are able to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Sometimes, even when the blindfold reading had started, like all the different power manifestations Swami was initiating us when we started, for everyone it will appear differently, and for everyone it will manifest in different ways. So as you play with the power, you will be able to explore more how the power is manifesting for you, how Swamiji is revealing it for you.
Okay, now we're going to go to the next round. Do not think, do not guess, saying, okay, maybe they will listen to only Swamiji's audio, maybe they'll do this, that. No, you're going to be completely connecting to Swamiji, And exactly whatever Swamiji is revealing, you're going to be sharing. Okay. So let's enter into the power manifestation. We're going to be playing. You will not hear any audio. So you're going to only bring the internal silence, Paramashanta, and listen to the sound exactly that is being played. In 3, 2, and yes. Come on. Now I request you all to post. I'm curious to see what each of you are going to post in this round. Please connect to Swamiji and chant the Mahavakya, whatever Swamiji revealed to you in the last few seconds. Please post it in the chat.
Whatever sound you were able to hear, whatever sound you were able to listen to, without filtering, without anything, please detail it out in the chat in every detail possible. What it could be, the type of sound, or like the vibes it gave. It could be anything. Okay, I see many answers. Maris Koraya, yeah, Miss Philippine. Okay. Balasubramanian, okay.
Okay. Come on, describe everything. Whatever you saw, describe all of it. I have some very interesting answers from people, so I'm also very excited. Go ahead. Each of you go ahead and describe what exactly you heard.
Okay. Ma Lissimong, Ma Monica Shika, Ma Ramini Devi, Ma Iqbal Bano, Ma Stephanie, Ma Jayalakshmi. What all did you see, Ma? What were you able to listen to? What did you hear? What did Swamiji reveal? Ma Margarita?
Okay. So there are different answers from each one. Okay, Ma Monica Shika, okay, Ma. And we also have my stuck has posted. I am very excited to say the answer. All right. Okay. Since many of you posted, I'm just going to go forward. All right. So now let's listen to the exact sound that I listened to. And this may be a little, like sometimes a little loud if your speaker is very loud. So please reduce your volume for a moment so it's comfortable for you to hear as well. So what I was listening to was the sound of rain. It is just rain and thunder rumbling sound. Ma is stuck. You have manifested it. So I'm going to show you the audio first because you have described it precisely correct. So I'm going to show the audio to all of you. Yes. This is the exact. Yes. Okay. So this is the exact audio that we were listening to. It was sound of rain. And now I'm going to read out the answer because many of you have seen. Maistak has posted that she's hearing sounds. Third eye showing long sounds like airplane landing, drops of water, and like people gathering and so on. And you have put high peak train. And you okay? Were all of you able to hear the audio? Yes. Were you all able to hear the sound, rain sound that we listened to? We played for you all? Okay. That sound, the rain, water falling, that was the exact sound. And ma'am, Istak, you have manifested it well. Excellent. Okay. Some of you saying you couldn't hear the exact audio we listened to. I'm going to be replaying it. And please, you can hear it once again to see if you heard sound similar to it. It is just a sound of rain. That's all. Rain and thunder rumbling. I'm going to be replaying it again. Okay. Were you all able to hear now? Were all of you able to hear the exact sound that we heard? And even Ma Monica, see, you saw something darkness. You saw like, see, many of the things that you're seeing is very, very closely related. It's very closely connected. And Balasubramanian, I have one request. Every day, if you can make time to sit and manifest powers, really you will have a shift. Because the sincerity that you have and the deep feeling connection you have with Swamiji. If you can just sit every day and spend some time dedicated for manifesting Shaktis, understand many times the doubts, the self doubts, anything that may come into you, the more and more you experiment with these powerful cognitions, especially you're going to be living with Swamiji, right? That's your future. Then you need to really like train yourself to not settle with just the ordinary mundane life and instead start continuously engaging actively in enjoying the mature taste of manifesting Shakti. Okay, so every day, even if you can take time, 21 minutes, sit, manifest the powers. Take time to spend on consciously building yourself. Okay, yeah? Yes, all right. So now we're all going to be entering into the next session of our day, where we are going to be understanding about the principles of ahimsa, how you can manifest the space of ahimsa. Swamiji is very beautifully revealed about this. We're going to be listening to this science now. Let us all enter into the session. I request you all to listen to this completely, where Swamiji reveals about what exactly is non-violence. Is it just a physical act of non-violence, or what is non-violence? So we're going to be listening to this now. Let's all enter into this session.
The first principle, foremost principle, Paramashiva reveals in Vedagamas, Ahimsa Paramo Dharmaha, non-violence is ultimate law, non-violence is ultimate cosmic principle, non-violence is the ultimate law of life. Understand? In Hinduism, all the great truths are revealed. All the great truths and ultimate truths are revealed, expecting all human beings to behave intelligently and comply. Understand? Hinduism guides and inspires you to comply, never makes compliance as compulsory. Listen. That is the beauty of Hinduism. The religion which neither allows conversion nor forms any foundation for terrorism. No terrorism, no conversion religion. Even though we continue to remain as minorities, we hold the highest principles as our core principles.
Understand? Your mind is mixture of both. I should say, for a common man, the powerful cognitions is very less percentage. Delusions, hopes, blind spots are all large number of percentage. I'll give you some example for blind spots. People in anger, in rage, sometimes think, come on, let's do it, and face what comes after that. But when after effects, the side effect, the result of what they have done, when it comes, they can't face. That is what I call blind spot based mental setup. Sometimes people make decisions arrogantly. You can see even in Indian movies. Constantly this Indian cinema is teaching violence as heroism. Oh God. So much violence is not required to run your life. But it is so unfortunate, Indian cinema makes you believe only if you are violent, you can survive, which is not true. Raising the negativity, friction among the human beings and encashing the cheap emotions, triggering the cheap emotions and making money. Most cheapest business. I've always seen in this Indian cinemas, the hero will tell, come on, kill that fellow, come what may, we will face it later. Actually, after that, when he is arrested and put in jail, he will not be able to face it. This is exactly they are teaching the Indian youth. Indian youth also behaves the same way. Come on, let's do it and face what comes after that. But after that, when it comes, they will not be able to face. The blind spot based thinking. Listen, all this blind spot based thinking, blind spot based mental system will collapse now in this pralaya. Actually, non-violence is the real heroism. We should teach our next generation how to take the non-violence and blissful coexistence to your core level. All this violence-centric heroism and violence-centric hero worship stories, everything should be moved away from the next generation. Violence should not be taught as heroism. Making yourself rich, happy, blissful through happy coexistence, that should be the lifestyle, and that is only going to be the future. Youth is not going to believe anymore this violence instigating ideologies.
Listen, I want to tell all my disciples, followers, devotees, people who are going to become Kailasavasis, all of you listen intensely. How any great spiritual revolution, spiritual awakening starts globally. We can start from Buddha. Before Buddha, we can go to Krishna. If we have to go little more further, Rama or Krishna or Buddha, the master and the core team disciples decided to sacrifice their life for Dharma, to live by Dharma, to stand by Dharma. They stood for the great truth, Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. With that intensity only, all of them caused a powerful spiritual awakening. Whenever you react for the attacks, injustice done to you, your goal gets diverted or your speed towards the goal gets reduced. But Paramashiva gave me such beautiful Paramashantatva, intelligence shining in Paramashantatva, ultimate peace. Never all the attacks, whether from externally attacks done or the internally from Sangha, the traitors, anything, never any agitation or reaction happened in me. And continuously, always I was focused on the goal. Never my speed towards the goal was reduced. during all attacks, whether it is from external enemies or the internal traitors, all I did, Paramburuli, Paramashiva Paramburuli, Mahadeva, what should I do next? He will give the script. That's all. I tell you. It is my absolute Paramashantatva, non-agitation, extreme peace, absolute peace, that made me successful. Listen, I tell you repeatedly, even if one moment I was agitated in this whole attacks, so many years of continuous abuse and persecution, hate speech I faced, laughers I faced, even if 1 minute, 1 second I was agitated, the whole Sangha would have, I don't know what would have happened, I can't even imagine. Then, even if I was agitated internally, stressed internally, my speed towards my goal would have been reduced, which is what is the real plan, the expected success of my enemies and my traitors. I tell you, Paramashiva, by giving me absolute Paramashantatva, unagitated, absolute peace, non-violence, centered energy, he gave me the greatest strategies to resolve all the problems presented in front of me. I wanted all of you to know Paramashiva's Paramashantatva, his energy of ahimsa, is powerful, capable to guide his mission, protect his mission, expand his mission, take his mission to the whole world. That is why I am so confident. My confidence is on Paramashiva, not on the external situations, attacks, assassination attempts, lawfare, hate speech, persecution, all I faced from the external enemies and internal traitors. Listen, my confidence is on Paramashiva. He is more powerful than any of this. He is a greater strategist than any of this. And I tell you, repeatedly, any external situations, worst situations also, I always looked up to Paramashiva and his revelations. And he always standing by me, stood by me, manifesting through me, guiding me, and winning. Whether you are Kailasavasi or Sarvanyapita, part of Sarvanyapita, anything. Center yourself on non-violence, you will find best things in your life. And one more thing, when I teach you non-violence, not only I teach you, I am giving you my protection. Paramashiva gives you abhaya. Just go on deciding, strategizing from non-violence. I commit. I'll protect you. You will be protected. Mahakala Bhairava, my Bhairavas and Rudras will be around you, protecting you. Do not worry about others' violence towards you. When I teach, I'm not just teaching you, I give you protection also. Rest, relax in Paramashiva, relax in Paramashanta, enjoy, celebrate being cool, ultimate coolness. There is nothing worthy to get to the level of violence to be achieved. Listen, there is nothing worthy to be achieved in this whole universe by becoming violent, means losing yourself. Getting into the space of violence is losing yourself, delusion, deluding yourself. From your Paramashiva state, you are pulled into the delusion by ego, always through fear. When the fear is triggered in you, you get deluded and start manifesting violence. That's it. After that, you are a shit. You will do anything your ego says, your delusion says. First amendment is Ahimsa Paramo Dharma. Listen. Listen. I'll elaborately explain. The first amendment is actually the first truth. The fundamental constitutional right you are given by Kailasa constitution is the right to be Paramashiva. Think you are Paramashiva. Feel you are Paramashiva. Believe you are Paramashiva. Treat everyone as Paramashiva and expect to be treated as Paramashiva by others. You have right to be treated as Paramashiva by others. This is a fundamental constitutional right Kailasa constitution gives you. First amendment of Kailasa. You have a right to be treated as Paramashiva by others. best and only way this is possible is by realizing ahimsa paramo dharmaha. The only toxin pulls you down from this you being Paramashiva, you seeing everyone as Paramashiva, and you being treated by others as Paramashiva. The only toxin which disturbs this whole life flow is violence. If you drop violence, first you will see yourself as Paramashiva. You will see everyone around you as Paramashiva. You will naturally attract people around you who will treat you as Paramashiva. Your whole life becomes Paramashiva. I tell you, you actually define yourself inside you not just by what you believe as you, by what others believe as you and how others treat you, all put together. You start building you. So the best way to build you is you cognizing yourself as Paramashiva, and everyone around you also cognizes you and treats you as Paramashiva, is the best way to build your core cognitions and core identity. Ramakrishna has a beautiful example. He says, Ganga flows. There is a bamboo floating in the Ganga. Because of that bamboo, it looks like this side of Ganga and that side of Ganga. You just remove the bamboo, Ganga is Ganga. Same way, everything is Paramashiva. You are Paramashiva, others are, everyone is Paramashiva, everything is Paramashiva. If you just put the violence called bamboo, it looks like I, you, this side of Paramashiva, that side of Paramashiva. Me, you. If you just remove that bamboo called violence, it's all Paramashiva. It's all Paramashiva. Bring the cool energy of non-violence. Paramashanta. Non-violence. Paramashanta. Life is absolute joy. All toxins will leave your system when you just lift this bamboo of violence from Ganga. flow of Paramashiva. Paramashiva Shakti Pada, Paramashiva Shaktini Pada flows in you when you lift this toxin called violence. Whether you are coming to Kailasa or manifesting Kailasa from wherever you are, the core truth is make your life centered non-violence. Make yourself centered non-violence. Non-violent. Everything will follow. Tyaga, non-violence, unclutching, all these are not inactive, tamasic, inertia, lazy, tired, bored, withdrawn lifestyle. Non-violence means not only you will be non-violent, ahimsa, established in ahimsa, you will actively practice ahimsa and enrich everyone to live ahimsa. You will create an ecosystem where ahimsa can be practiced with integrity. Understand? All the infrastructures needed to keep the non-violence ahimsa alive. Media. Media is the non-violent way of reaching out to people and telling the real truths and facts. Like media, education mechanisms, everything should be actively filled with the truths, ideas about non-violence, yaga, spiritual strength, powerful cognitions, all these great truths. Listen. Again and again and again, many are trying to harass me through the social media and all other way, saying that, oh, you are teaching constantly non-violence, ahimsa, peace. Don't you see you are making Hindus weaker and weaker? Understand? If Hindus listen to what I am saying sincerely, they will understand I am trying to make them really stronger. Understand? Strength is intelligent way of existing. Strength is not violence. Strength is not terrorism. Strength is not conversion. Understand? Neither by conversion nor by terrorism any religion is going to survive in the future. Future of the religions is not going to be decided by their capacity of conversion or terrorism. No, that period is over. The next generation is not interested in conversion or terrorism. It is interested in living the life and life positive. Let me first make clear explanations. Let me first make you all understand how I adopt ahimsa, non-violence, for relationship with me and relationship with my guru, relationship with my first team, relationship with my sangha, relationship with my disciples and devotees, relationship with practicing Hindus, relationship with the whole universe, relationship with the whole humanity, relationship with everything. I'll explain step by step how I adopt. Krishna says beautifully in the Gita, if you know how I function, you will become enlightened. I tell you, Krishna is the greatest strategizer based on this Paramadharma Ahimsa. Fools and stupids, anti-Hindus are those who claim Krishna made Mahabharata war. No! Understand? Krishna personally went to negotiate peace. And he was abused. And Krishna knows he will be abused, he may be abused when he goes for negotiating peace, but still he took the risk. Not only abused, there was a murder attempt on Krishna. There was a murder attempt. Krishna followed all the rules of an ambassador, means coming without any protection, weapon, without any security guard, army, nothing. Just Nirayudha Bani, he came. And these bloody Gaurava fellows and Duryodhana, due to his extreme delusion, he orders Krishna's arrest. And then the whole earth shakes. And Bhuma Devi kicked him out of his throne. He was thrown out of his throne. THROWN. Thrown out of his throne. THRONE. That time itself Bhuma Devi decided this fellow, this Duryodhana, should not win in the war. See, arresting Krishna, not only not right as per the country law, it's atrocious as per even the cosmic law. Both the way. And originally Hindu kingdoms are supposed to run by cosmic law. It is cosmic law which runs the Hindu countries. Cosmic law itself is adopted as a country's law. That's why the constitutions are drawn. I'm telling you guys. When I read more and more the Hindu constitutions and Hindu criminal procedure codes, what a civilization. I'm just every day falling in love with Manu, Bharadwaja, Yanyavalgya. Core of me are Krishna. Our core which does the strategy. Is pure compassion. Janma karma chame divyam evam yotti evam yovetti tattvataha tyaktva deham Punarjanmana iti mameti sorchuna. All violence is delusion. Please listen. 99.9999% of the material out of which you are made and I am made. Listen. 99.9999% of you and 99.9999% of me, both not only same stuff, they also know each other as same stuff. Listen. 99.99999% of the stuff out of which you are made, I am made, all of us are made. That stuff is same. And the most important thing is not only it is same, it knows we are all same. So 0.1%. I won't even say 0.1%, 0.00001%. That only makes you feel you are separate from the universe. Anger and arrogance. Listen carefully. That is why I am telling, feeling separated is the most stupidest and worst delusion. Worst delusion. It is from the feeling separated stems violence. Violence is rooted in feeling separated. So listen. It's with extreme love and compassion I am telling you the secrets. Secrets of my success. And these secrets will make you successful. Never ever get frustrated about life. Never ever get angry about life. Never ever get violent about life. If you cut and check me inside, there will be 0% violence. Not even 1 iota of violence. That is the secret of my success. Now you should listen. All my kids, listen. I am sitting with you with my one hand on your shoulder and telling, Kana, இது பரம ரகசியமடா, நல்லா கேட்டுக்கோ. The material, the metal, core stuff out of which you are made, I am made, this universe is made, Paramashiva is made, that material is same. And the great news is, this material knows that we are all same. It is not that you need to build this enlightenment step by step. No. The material, which is you, your body, your mind, your core cognition, your individual identity, and what you call as Your body, your mind, your privacy, your secrecy, your all the things. Whatever you call as you closer to you. My mother, my father, my daughter, my sister, my son, my husband, my whatever, my friend, my beloved, my soulmate, or me. All this is made of certain stuff. That stuff and the Paramashiva, the stuff out of which Paramashiva is made, and the stuff out of which I am made, all of us are made. That stuff, that material is same. Listen. Just like how my Guru gave me straight teaching and liberated me from all the socially inflicted delusions about wealth, I'll give you some of the powerful cognitions and liberate you from all socially inflicted delusions and the pains due to the delusions related to Kala Tattva, time. Listen. Even death is okay, but don't ever become violent. Non-violence is the best strategy even in the face of the death, because if you adopt violence, you will go down into the more and more deluded consciousness and suffer. If you adopt non-violence, even if you die, you will raise into higher and higher consciousness. You can manipulate your ability to take birth as you want. Your ability to enjoy life as you want by the pure observance and cognizing ahimsa paramo dharmaha. When you cognize non-violence is the ultimate dharma, you have so many wonderful powers manifesting in you. You will master the higher states of existence, higher space of existence, because non-violence will bring tremendous strength and fearlessness. Every time you are non-violent and face the crises in your life, you will become fearless. Listen, non-violent response to every crisis removes the fear and strengthens your cognition, ability to cognize powerful cognitions. Now, just now, sit and listen and pen down this statement once more. Non-violent way of responding to every crisis in your life removes all fears from you and strengthens your powerful cognitions and your ability to cognize powerful cognitions and manifest them as reality. Understand? First, I want to tell you, I am neither optimistic nor pessimistic. I don't see world as negative. I don't see world as positive. I see the reality as it is. Listen. I don't see the world negative. I don't see world as positive. I just see it as reality and give you the existential truth to give you superconscious breakthrough. When you have superconscious breakthrough, whole life becomes positive, which is beyond positive and negative. Understand? When I say life positive, it is not the opposite word to life negative. For example, when you are frustrated, feeling low, you will feel life is negative, whole world is negative, whole world is conspiring against you, and everything is a fate, predetermined. There is no freedom, there is no life. You suffocate yourself. One of the most cunning thing your mind can do is it will make you doubt everyone other than itself. You slap yourself, beat yourself, stagger yourself 24/7 continuously and blame everyone in the world for stabbing you, for backstabbing you, front stabbing you, attacking you, slapping you. You blame everyone in the world, saying, oh, he's stabbing me, he's kicking me, he's beating me, he's slapping me. You blame God, you blame people, you blame world, you blame situation, you blame everything. But you continue to destroy yourself. You don't want to wake up to the reality you are doing it. So you just blame the whole world. When you feel life is negative, this is the way you perceive, you function. When you feel life is positive, you are excited, inspired, joyful, energetic. Listen carefully. When you are excited, inspired, energetic, you feel life is free will. Even the sky is not the limit. Full of energy, enthusiasm, excitement. And you feel everyone is good. You do all good to you and also praise everyone is doing good to you. Understand, I neither look at the world life negative nor look at the world life positive. I look at the world as straight reality. When you see the reality as it is, the love floods from your consciousness. I tell you, the love flooding from your consciousness is power. Love never makes you weak. If you are feeling love makes you vulnerable and weak, you are fool. Love makes you powerful, life positive. If you are feeling love makes you vulnerable, because of your love, others are taking advantage of you. You are becoming demon. You are falling in the trap of demons. I tell you, love does not make you life negative, life positive. It makes you living life powerful. The love I am talking is a power. Love makes you life powerful. I see the reality and I can see how the love makes me powerful and makes everyone in the world powerful. This love is a love comes from your being when you see the reality as it is. Neither life positive nor life negative, just reality as it is. That love empowers you. Listen carefully. My love not only empowers me, it empowers every one of you who receive it. In multiple level, my love empowers you. Life is always win-win. If life is only me or them, it will be violence based. The law of life is not violence. See, if it is violence based, then only one person should be alive. Law of life is not violence based. There are some universal laws. How much ever you try to deny them, you will not be able to deny them. The universal law is, whether you understand or not, everyone in your life is your extension. Your extension. After all, me, let this health be extended to them. That is what is all about healing. That is what is all about healing. That's what we have proved. See, when I am trying to heal somebody, we have medically proved my brain waves and the other person's brain waves are in the same frequency. The other person's brain waves come up. When we did this research first in St. Louis, when I put my hand on the other person, you have read the research. The other person's brain waves have suddenly become like mine for the full 20 minutes. And same way when I materialized, whoever is receiving the materialized object, their brain waves become exactly like mine for that 40-50 minutes. You understand? You can do that. When they are my extension, let this health be extended to them. And you will never attract the disease in you. Don't be afraid. We always have the fear, no. If that is the case, then suddenly in that same door, if their disease enters into this side, what will happen? You understand? It is always when you open yourself to the higher principles, only auspiciousness happens. Whenever you open yourself to the higher principles, only auspiciousness happens. Advaita expresses only Shiva. Means that Shiva means auspiciousness, possibility. Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa today. Listen, listen intensely. Having broad space keeps you absolutely integrated. Continuously manifesting life. Manifesting life is manifesting powers. Powers are nothing but life into the power of 3. Life into the power of 2, like a life square, is bliss. Life cube, life into the power of 3 is powers. Having broad, expansive inner space. Listen, life is all about what you cognize as you, not what you do outside. That's one statement. Second statement I immediately made. Life has nothing to do with what you feel about you or with you. It is all about what you do to others. Both looks very conflicting, paradoxical, controversy. Listen, but they are not conflicting. They are complementing each other. All I am trying to tell you is what you feel about you does not matter. What you cognize about you matters. When you have the right cognitions, you will start serving others. Serving others becomes your lifestyle. Listen carefully, intensely. What you are going to powerfully cognize about you, decisively, that matters. For example, you decide, I am now going to feel I am only powerful God, Paramashiva, who has absolute power over my inner space and power over my outer reality. Listen carefully. That decision you may be taking only for 1 minute. And the all remaining 23 hours and 59 minutes you may be in depression, self-doubt, self-hatred, self-denial, all kinds of hitting with worst space a person can have and feeling shitty about yourself, your life and everything. All that feeling you are having 23 hours, 59 minutes does not matter. The 1 minute which you decided, you are going to powerfully cognize yourself as Paramashiva. That matters because cognitions, consciously taken decisions gets recorded into your biomemory. vague, confused, immature, mood swings, feelings, all that gets recorded only even in your muscle memory. Listen. Even if you receive 99,000, it is less than 1 lakh. Because the very digit is different. Having large, expansive inner space makes you manifest life in tremendous depth, maturity.
Dhiras who micromanage the inner space are dhiras. Dhira means who is not stuck in any pattern inside. If you lose the fight outside and come out and give a 10-day lecture on why you lost, you can't be a Veera. Nobody is interested in giving you any respect by listening to your lecture. Oh, it was too hot and I always feel energetic in the AC and cold area, but in hot I lose my sense and control. I was so irritated. I could not tolerate the other fellow's sweating smell, so I lost it. Who cares? Loser. Even if he gives 10-day lecture on the reasons why he lost, he's not going to get the title Veeraha. He's not going to be Veeraha. Dhira means who conquered inner space, who micromanages inner space, who looks into every thought current, thought pattern. Understand? Any problem persists because you are not interested in micromanaging certain thought currents in you, certain pattern currents in you. Understand? Even body needs to be healed. If your body is not cooperating with you for waking up in the morning, it is sick. It is entertaining certain blind spots. Don't let that happen in you. You need to address it. You need to heal it. You need to cure it. Most subtlest patterns do not expose themselves as patterns to you. They try to convince you, you are them. They are your characters. They are your beauty. They are your colors. No. Any sympathy for your patterns in any form is a crime against yourself. Atmahatya. Understand? Sometimes we say, why? Everyone is suffering with certain pattern. Why not me also? Let me have this. This is my character. No. Everyone's suffering cannot be the justification for your stupidity. Pattern, when it convinces you, it is your character, it is your quality, and derives your sympathy, you have committed suicide. You entered into the suicidal space. Over. Most stupid. Suffering comes to you by you not recognizing the source of that suffering as your pattern. Look in. Look in. Justifications do not bring you result. Long theology, philosophies do not bring result. Who do not compromise in the inner space, who feels their inner space is like their chastity, is dhiraha. The level of integrity, the way you micromanage your inner space, that makes you dhiraha. That makes you dhiraha. Here, Upanishad declares, dhiras are those who discover the ear of the ear, mind of the mind, speech of the speech, prana of the prana, and realizing that they achieve the immortal, eternal, amrita bhavanti. They achieve immortal and eternal. Contemplate. Where are the blind spots? Continuously look in. If you are not able to attend the morning yoga, the blind spot is somewhere else. Somewhere else you are deeply cherishing the second thought current, some other thought current. Unless you penetrate into that thought current, you are not going to free yourself. You are not going to liberate yourself. Your anger, your discomfort, your vengeance. Unless you look into that and break, you are not going to become dhiraha. And life is only worth living when you become dhiraha. Shrotrasya shrotram manaso manoyat vachoha vacham savu pranasya pranaha chakchush chakshuhu atimushya dhiraha pretya smallokat amrita bhavanti. Go on micromanaging your inner space. Go on micromanaging. The moment you diagnose the thought current, thought pattern, immediately the pattern will melt. The moment you diagnose, if it is not melting, that thought current is not a real problem. Still, you have not put your hands on the real problem, I tell you. Many times people, when they are not able to wake up in the early morning, they try to put more alarms, more cold water, sleep early. All that does not work. The gastric and stomach ulcer need to be healed because the problem is there. Putting more alarms, putting more cold water on yourself, putting more people to call you, sleeping early, nothing will work. Till you put your hand on the right problem. With everything, with every situation, with every problem, putting your hand on the right thought current. The moment you put your hand on the right thought current, the problem dissolves, problem disappears.
Tyaga is the key to become God. The most difficult tyaga is renouncing self-hatred, because the society teaches you self-hatred is great. It makes you delude between humbleness and self-hatred. Listen. Humbleness is not self-hatred. Listen carefully. Self-hatred is thinking you are less. Humbleness is thinking about you less. Less self-remembrance is humbleness. Self-hatred is constantly thinking about you, but very cheap, very low. Understand, there is a big difference between humbleness and self-hatred. Person with self-hatred will never be really humble. Adivinayam durta lakshanam. He will show himself very humble. But he is not humble. Understand? A real humbleness will be out of powerfulness. Society deludes you, makes you mistake humbleness your humbleness as self-hatred, and as you always in the state of self-hatred so that you will be humble. Self-hatred is not humbleness. Most difficult thing to renounce in the life is self-hatred. So much of self-hatred, self-doubt, self-denial. That is why even if you think of future plans, so much of impossibility and you shrink. No, one more suffering, pain of failure, why should I face? Fool. Because of pain of failure, you don't plan, and naturally, no plan means failure. It is like because you are afraid some guest will come to your home, you call that person and tell him, please come. You are afraid failure will come to your life, and you stop planning and force the failure to come to your life. Self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt. Most difficult thing to renounce in your life is SDHD. Renounce that. Dhira, courage is moving the SDHD out and having the vision for your future. Because of your pain and frustration, fear of failures, doesn't want to face one more pain of not achieving what you want and all those frustration ganging up, and you don't even put the seed, then what are you hoping for? Accidental future. Accidental future is not going to be great. All accidents will either be damaging or just letting you live. It is only consciously planning, manifesting. Understand? You are a man. You are given conscious power, will, persistence. You are expected to be adult and matured. Use those capabilities and plan, manifest your future. If not, don't blame anyone. First, sit. Pen down your pains of failures, hopelessness, resistance, anger. You feel even to write, think about your future. How is it going to happen? My future is in somebody else's hand. I don't even know what is going to happen. How will I plan? What will I do? All kinds of frustration, impossibility. Whatever comes up, pen down all of that. That is the first step. Second, decide consciously I am moving all this out of my life. And now I am planting conscious seeds about my future. So two things you are going to do now. First, all the resistance and anger and frustration you have to do this conscious planning of your future, pen down those patterns. Memories of failures, frustration, everything, whatever you have. If you don't have, great. If you have, pen down. That's the first. Second, pen down what all you want to manifest by which date, on the date exactly, on the calendar. If you want to manifest something by August, go to the August month and exact date you want to manifest that, pen down that. Veera is courage you demonstrate through your ahankara. Dhira is the courage you demonstrate in your level of mamakara. The courage you demonstrate in ahankara is veera. The courage you demonstrate in mamakara is dhira. The courage you demonstrate in anyakara is ira, the compassion. The courage you demonstrate in ahankara is veera. In front of 10 people, die! The courage you demonstrate with your mamakara, with yourself, is dhira. I'll choose only authenticity. Come what may. The courage you choose with the anyakara is ira.
I don't know whether the word Sanskrit, the era exists in Sanskrit. It's a Tamil word. It's a Tamil word. It's a Tamil word. Era means the compassion in your heart. In Tamil, it means. But the old languages, it will always be, words will be here, there, and it will get mixed up. Some forgotten, some. It's okay. I'll give this word to Sanskrit, era. And I'm giving the meaning to it, that's all. With the right of Arsha Prayoga, I contribute this word to Sanskrit. A rishi has a right to use Arsha Prayoga. As an incarnation who created so many rishis, I contribute this word to Sanskrit. Go ahead. Because the masters have to explain such subtle principles, they are not bound, restricted by the linguistic rules. That is why in the tradition even country rules are bent. Because they have to express the cosmic rules in their body language. Sometimes the country rules are bent in those days during the Vedic tradition for the masters. The good and the pleasant approach man. The wise examines both and discriminates between them. The wise prefers the good and the good to the pleasant. But the foolish man chooses the pleasant through love of bodily pleasure. Shreyascha preyascha manushyametaha tau sampritya vivinakti dhiraha. Authenticity and inauthenticity both approach man. The wise examines both and discriminates between them. The dhira, wise one, prefers the good, prefers the authenticity to the inauthenticity. But the foolish man, adhira, chooses the inauthenticity because of the incompletion in the bio-memory, in the muscle memory. Tell me, all of you think, why did you choose the pizza knowing it is inauthenticity? Why did you say it's okay at that moment? Because the incompletion in the muscle memory, in the tongue, in the eyes, in the touch. Pizza will have incompletion only in these three muscle memory. Vision, visual, the way it is. Wow. And the taste, of course, smell also. Smell. Sound, there's no sound from pizza. The smell, the incompletion muscle memory of the smell, incompletion muscle memory of tongue, incompletion muscle memory of eyes, and incompletion muscle memory of touch. If you remember even now and have a thought, it will be nice if I can have a pizza. Authentically raise your hand. How many of you had the thought? You still have incompletion. Understand? The moment I described, you had the visualization and had a thought. It will be nice. Of course, we won't get it, but it will be nice. Raise the hand. Authentically, let me see. Still you are carrying the incompletion. The danger of choosing inauthenticity exists in you. Nothing wrong with pizza, but you will choose pizza for wrong reasons. inauthentically. With completion, nothing is wrong. There are clear references. Shankara drank the village, the country arak. Being a Brahmana, a sannyasi, Yoni Brahmana and a sannyasi, he drank country arak. His disciples thought he is inauthentic and questioned. Then in the next stop, he drank the molten iron to prove his authenticity, that nothing touches him. He was never inauthentic even when he drank arak, because it was out of completion. His body needed some water component. Nothing else other than that country arak was available. So he added that water component to the body. And next stop, nothing else other than the molten iron was available. He added water component through that molten iron. It was complete authentic. It was not, the Shankara did not have the incomplete bio-memory of the arak smell, taste and the hangover which it leaves in the system. You guys have 5 hangovers of pizza. Hangover of taste in the tongue, hangover of smell, hangover of vision, hangover of touch, and hangover it leaves in you after eating. Shankara did not have even 1 hangover of alcohol. Alcohol also leaves you 5 hangover. Seeing, smell, taste, and what the touch, and what it leaves in you after you drink. The 5 incomplete biomemories, muscle memories, all 5 are not there in Shankara. That is why he used even alcohol just to add water component to his body. Ram Surat Kumar smoking. He never had an incompletion. So with incompletion, even pizza can hurt you. Without incompletion, with completion, even alcohol can't hurt you. When you are incomplete, even your breathing can hurt you. With completion and authenticity, nothing can hurt you. Look in, it may be out of inauthenticity. Inauthenticity. Dhiraha. Dhira, wise is one who stands with authenticity, who chooses authenticity, who does not choose because of the incompletions of biomemory. See, every time you choose inauthenticity, it's okay. Some of your incomplete biomemory is awake and says, yes, Gayam.
हे नटराजा हे नित्यानंदा हर 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 गंगे हे नटराजा हे नित्यानंदा हर 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 गंगे हे नटराजा हे नित्यानंदा हर 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 गंगे हे नटराजा हे नित्यानंदा हर 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 गंगे 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 हे नटराजा हे नित्यानंदा हर 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 गंगे हे नटराजा हे नित्यानंदा हर 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 गंगे हे नटराजा हे नित्यानंदा हर 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 गंगे हे नटराजा हे नित्यानंदा हर 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 गंगे 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 नित्यपुरीश्वरा जय गंगाधरा नित्यपुरीश्वरा जय गंगाधरा नित्यपुरीश्वरा जय गंगाधरा नित्यपुरीश्वरा जय गंगाधरा हर 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 गंगे 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 शंकरा शिव शंकरा शिव शंकर शंकर नित्या 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 हर हर गंगे 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 हे नटराजा हे नित्यानंदा हर हर
Something we to all of us about what is real definition of non-violence is not inactivism. Non-violence is active oneness, and you're constantly actively engaging yourself again and again, reminding yourself that everyone around you is a part of you. That is real non-violence. Literally, what Swamiji is repeating this session, right? How Bhagavan Krishna or multiple examples of Swamiji goes. The streams of non-violence where nothing from outside triggers you to make a decision a certain way, where you do not let your incompletion influence a certain decision that you make, that is non-violence. Non-violence towards yourself and non-violence towards everyone else around you. See, all the escalates to the self-doubt, self-hatred, self-love, that is only the violence that we try towards ourselves. Because it is due to the growth that we stop planning and we head towards failing again, right? And that is the violence that we have towards ourselves, and that is what makes this project turn outside. Like what song is in it? Yeah, the real courage is your ability to face ferociously break the patterns of perception. Oh, this is a pattern. Oh God, I don't know what to do about it. But the same thing someone else is having, you'll be like having, how can that person not do this? You're surely capable of it. So we all really have that. We all have that. When it comes to us, we constantly tend to say, okay, it's fine, this is what it is, and that's all it can be done.
But you keep putting those restrictive patterns in you and creating that like a fence around you. You bind your own growth. You obstruct your own growth. We all start putting that. Like for example, as soon as you finish your like kindergarten or something, already you people start putting the restrictive patterns on you. They say, okay, after this math is going to be very hard for you, and this is going to be very hard for you. Some of the other conditions we all pick up, but we are so deeply ingrained in these conditions, in these cognitions, that we do not, or we at least very rarely experience completion with all these layers.
How many of you have seen this actually happening? Whether it is from childhood or even in the recent past, somewhere you have heard something, somewhere you have picked up something, and you start using those restrictive words within you, saying, okay, maybe I cannot do this, I'm not supposed to do this. How many of you see this happening? I'm sure all of you, all of us have seen this happening in a day-to-day life. But what is that exact thing that keeps coming up? What is that SCH? That if you just look in and ferociously break from it, ferociously decide to break from it, then you will see that you have a breakthrough.
Actually, right now, we're going to be understanding, see, when it comes to Maya myth, what we say, breaking free from the wheel. We all develop a certain kind of, like we have our own understandings of how this happens, what is this, and we develop different ideas within us about each other. Right? Now, we're going to be doing quick exercise to understand this a little deeper, right? From this, how the non-violence, when you cognize that you, the component of the I in you, if that is constantly associating itself with powerful components, that's why something is saying, right? Humbleness is not thinking like less about you, it is thinking about you very less. Like the frequency of where you remember your I, that should reduce. That is humbleness. It's not that you will stop thinking about you and you will just no, it cannot be like that. So, like Swami said, cherishing the cognition, the context that you are Paramashiva, and from that space operating, from that space making all the decisions, everything in your life. That space, it's very important that you recognize what that space is, and you need to connect with consciousness. This is what Swami tells us, seek the source of first person. So many different ways Swami is given them. Literally, just sit, close your eyes, and experience that exactly which part of you, the component, the consciousness, you call it oneness, you call it any of it, which part of you is absolutely untriggered by anything that happens on the outside and still continues to radiate powerfulness. That is exactly the component of you that can make you experience a pure love. Now, let's do a quick exercise. I'm going to request you all take a paper and pen pen down the major patterns that you are struggling with. Please take a moment.
It could be any pattern. But what is the main pattern?
First thing, all the patterns of your structure ferociously developed. Now, someone is going to be leading to us. A few techniques, how you can break that Maya matrix. Like many times you will be having questions as to pertaining to some aspect, like how do you use this? How do you actually use it and break it? So we're going to be learning about what are the different techniques for you to break free from the Maya matrix. So that is all ended with that session now, and we'll be listening to this one later.
By unclenching, if I decide to do something else or nothing, I feel I will be less useful to mission due to progressive decline in contacts. Out of sight, out of mind. This is my concern. Please comment. Next question. My mission is to make you unclench. Nothing else. Let it be very clear. I am not a missionary. I am not a missionary to do anything else. My mission is to make you unclench. One more important thing. By unclenching, if you don't support the mission, you should not support. See, let me be very clear. Many people involve themselves into my mission for various reasons. For various reasons. If you unclench, because of that, if your involvement is less, or you being productive to mission is less, never bother about that. That's good for you and good for me, good for the whole mission, good for everybody. It will be good for everybody. If you are being productive to the mission is due to the enlightenment experience which you had, satori which you had from this unclenching truth, that will be the right help, that will be the right service. So I feel, if you completely imbibe the truth which I am teaching, that will be the greatest service for the mission. Are the thoughts useless? What use you found from thoughts?
99% thoughts are totally useless. So.
That's all. You yourself realize it. Yes.
So, what is it within us is telling us that it is useless?
What is this?
I mean, there has to be some faculty within us that is telling us this is illogical, this is unconnected. So again, the mind is the
So
one,
you say there is a faculty.
the mind is the one that has to decide whether it's illogical or logical, isn't it? So again, we are using the help.
Okay, see, mind is the one which is supposed to decide whether it is logical or illogical.
Correct.
That's the truth. So what is that mind?
Bundle of thoughts.
Bundle of thoughts. That's what now you saw.
Right.
Now what is that bundle of thoughts? No.
But again, in order for you to know it is illogical, you need to have something to tell you that's illogical. What is it that within?
What is it that telling? That you should ask yourself. See, you are asking from what scale we can tell whether it is illogical or not. I tell you, you can't even call this as actually illogical because you don't have any other word, you are using it as illogical. It is not even, it can't even be described as illogical. It is logically illogical or illogically logical. You can't even describe, it is illogical. As doctor told, it's right. You can't describe it as illogical. If it is illogical, then what is logical? We don't have any word, that's all. Because of that, we are using the word illogical. Now only one by one, everything is coming out. You are God, I am God. Who said I am God and you are God? Who told you this? I told you. Long before. Now completely it is unclutched. How can you say That Nithyananda only is sitting in front of you now. Let's have a little fun. God is everywhere. Why go to Kumbh Mela? Who went to Kumbh Mela? And why Anandeshwar temple? Who said there is a temple? I don't know. Who put this question? I understand. You are God and I am God is a word now which you need to digest. Just be unclutched. You are God and I am God will become experience to you. See. Now let us analyze. You say I am God and you are God. Next moment itself you are suspecting it. That is why you are putting the question, why Kumbh Mela? So this means your thoughts are not consistent. Am I right? You say, I am God and you are God. If you keep quiet, then okay. But the next you put the question, then why go to Kumbh Mela? It means your thoughts are not logical. Am I right? They are not logical. First you are telling one and the second you are telling something else. It means your thoughts are unconnected, illogical, independent, irresponsible, unclutched. Just realize that. And the third word, why Anandeshwar temple? Now you are bringing the God also. The fight is after all between you and me. Why are you calling the poor guy? He is somewhere sitting happily. First thing, the logic with which you are asking the question has no base. Has no base. First, look into yourself and see how you are. Then ask any other question. This very question shows you are independent, unconnected, irresponsible, illogical, unclutched being. Thoughts are so illogical. Then which thoughts do we pick up? Is it based on our samskaras? What happens after enlightenment? You don't need to pick up any thought. Why do you need to pick up any thought? You don't need to pick up any thought. Is it based on our samskaras? Where is samskara? Samskara is also one more thought. One thing I am so happy that I wanted that a certain level of confusion should be created. By seeing the question, I am very clear that is created. Now we can go deep. Now we can dig the whole thing. What happens after enlightenment? Why do you bother about that now itself? You are asking no random thoughts at all. Let me be very clear, no thoughts at all. Forget about random thoughts. You are sitting in front of a person who is speaking without thoughts, who is speaking without thinking. That is why I am able to speak for so many hours without preparing. If you are preparing and talking, if you are already prepared the lecture and bringing it and you are delivering it, two things. You need time to prepare the talk, and the second thing, and then after delivering you repent that you missed so many points. One more thing, there are some intelligent guys, they don't need to prepare outside. But during the talk itself, they will mentally prepare and start talking. Even if you do that, you will become tired after talking 1 or 2 hours. You can't be talking hours after hours. One more thing. Person who mentally prepares and talks will be bored of talking the same subject second time. If you are a teacher, you know. If you are a teacher, you know. But I am talking almost the same thing for last 4 years, 4.5 years now. Now, in 5,000 hours DVD, practically I am telling the same thing. Because I am not thinking and talking. When we think logically, are we not connecting thoughts? What you think as logic itself is illogical. You connecting thoughts is not actually connection. What you think as connection, you bring the nearer possible, the nearer concept thoughts. It's like a, let me describe it. Ajada Veda, there are 2 kinds of Vedas in the Veda means differences. Ajada Veda and Svagata Veda. Svagata Veda means by the quality itself it is 2 different things. The difference between cow and the monkey. By the very birth they are 2 different. There is one more Veda. The difference between your hand and your head. It's by quality it's the same body, but inside the body, like a subdivision. This is Ajada Veda, means by birth, by jati, they are not 2 different. The earlier division is totally different between cow and donkey, cow and monkey. By nature they are 2 separate things. The second kind of Veda is, by nature they are not 2 separate, same body but 2 different parts. But there is a difference. There is a difference between your hand and head. Your hand's job is different and head's job is different. So, when you think logically, you may not connect the thoughts with Svagata Veda, but even then your thoughts are not Ajada Veda. You understand? There is a minor division. Even what you think as logic is not completely connected. Between every thought there is a difference. There is a quantum jump. There is a quantum jump. You may not observe it clearly. You may not understand it. If you look, even with alright, whatever you think as logic, just see when it goes on inside you. It won't be logical. It will only jumping. It will only jumping. Your logic is also not enough logical. Enough logical. What you think as logic, see for example, let's analyze this one logic, nyaya. There's a 2 kinds of nyaya, logic. In Nyaya Sutra means about logic in India there's a big darshana, means a big tradition which teaches the logic. There's a 2 kinds of logic. One kind of a logic is like if you read the 2 statements, you can come to the conclusion of 3rd statement. For example, all men have got one head. Socrates is a man. Now you know the 3rd statement. What is the 3rd statement? Socrates has got one head. This is one kind of logic. There is another kind of logic. Here, this gate has got 2 doors. First statement. Second statement, one door is open. You can't say the other door is closed. But now, before I uttered this word, your mind has come to the conclusion? Is it not?
Yes.
The moment I utter the word, there is a 2 door. One door is closed. What your mind says? How can you say that? So this is the life logic. Life's logic is not logical. It's not logical. Many times, you see, you think by connecting and making everything by generalizing. But when you live in a very small, narrow way. Your thinking happens in a different place, your living happens in a different place. That is why so much of suffering. So much of suffering. For example, if you hear the news, your friend is loving somebody, immediately you come to the conclusion, you are not being loved. But the quality of love is such that you love more number of people, you are more open, you pour yourself so much, you know how to shower yourself. But your logic does not agree with that. Life, the big problem with the life and logic is, in reality, nothing is logical. But in thinking, you are trying your best to connect everything and put everything into one logic, so that you can manipulate it. Whatever is logical, you can manipulate, you can manage. But fortunately, life is not logical. Whatever you try to do, it is not possible. Could not unclutch last night. I am not able to unclutch is also one more independent, illogical, irresponsible thought. Why are you bothered about it? Let it come. Unclutch from that, over. Where you are already working on this. I observe the inward and outer me, and that those are unclutched. And there is duality I have been trying to identify. But I have not felt this change in perception. What holds me back? Nothing holds you back except your idea that you are not able to perceive. Now you say you are having an idea you are not able to perceive. Just unclutch from that thought, over. Just unclutch from it. Who is saying you are not enlightened? You. Just unclutch from the thought, over. Why are you clutching with it? That's all. What is the difference between so-called normal people and mentally retarded? Or mentally retarded people unclutched? They are not unclutched actually. They are over-connected. See, in your case, you are connecting at some point. Somehow you are able to manage to unclutch and rest. Those guys are not even able to manage that unclutching during sleep or during the boredom period. See, in your case, after a certain boredom or tiredness, you know how to unclutch and change and do something else. Those guys were not that intelligent and they were not able to do that. That's why they become mentally disturbed. If the mind can be aware of only one thought at a time, is it possible the mind is the one thinking it is body and mind, then thinking it is enlightened. See, if you are thinking, then it is not enlightened. Is enlightenment product of the mind? No. And dies with the brain? No. Your mind is much sharper, with great imagination. Oh, this is a nice question, challenging me. Now it's time. Let's. It's from the same person. I think from doctor only. Now I know. Understand? This is a very deep question. Sharp mind will not radiate compassion. The more your mind becomes sharp, you will see, more you become logical. The more you become logical, you will be more violent. Logic means separating. it will never give deep fulfillment to you. One more thing, staying with one body is impossible. Staying with one thought is impossible. Here is saying, if the mind can be aware of only one thought at a time, it can be aware of only one thought at a time, but that thought cannot be same continuously. That's the first thing you need to understand. Any thought cannot be consistent or same continuously.
Swamiji very beautifully answered. I should say, given the most uncommon answers, the common questions that we have about what is Maya, how to break free from Maya, and most importantly, in this session, Swamiji is speaking about unclutching, how you can establish yourself in unclutching, how the mind generates thoughts, how you can handle the influx of thoughts, and so on. So, hope you all understood and learned about how you can break free from Maya matrix today. And we welcome all of you to join with us tomorrow to understand about the feeling connection in life.
And whatever clicks you got before you conclude your day for today, internalize these tools, understand it better, do the Jivati service and the Bhakti service with your friends and your family members, and you will really have a breakthrough.
We thank all of you for your participation. And now we will be concluding our day with the Purna Mantra and offering our gratitude to Swamiji. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanavastu Om Nithyanandam. Thank you all, Nithyananda.
Mahabharat War. The ancient enlightened Hindu civilization around 5,000 years ago, at the end of Mahabharat War, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilization consisted of 10,000 Hindu traditions, or sampradayas, that existed in 56 Hindu nations, 200 Hindu kingdoms, 1,700 Hindu provinces, that covered more than 6 million kilometers square of Asia. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, SPH, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivoham, is the reviver of KAILASA, this ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. KAILASA is an unbroken cultural, religious, historical, civilizational, and sovereign continuation and revival of multiple of these historical Hindu sovereign states and Hindu ecclesiastical entities. The unbroken continuity of these ancient Hindu nations through KAILASA results in the legal recognition of KAILASA as per the international customary law, particularly the doctrine of continuity. The international law, the doctrine of continuity, implies that upheavals and revolutions within a country, changes in government, territorial adjustments, measures taken during military occupation, or other internal transformations do not negate the existence of the country, do not affect the legal personality and international obligations of the country or state. The Vienna Convention on Succession of States in respect of treaties, 1978, addresses these principles of the doctrine of continuity as it outlines international law during situation of state succession or continuation. International law recognizes a state's legal personality by recognizing its identity. This perspective extends even during the period when the given state or country is annexed or occupied by a foreign power. Even in such cases, the legal personality of the state is considered to persist, enabling its subsequent re-establishment. Historical examples dating back to the 18th century include cases like Portugal and Genoa that were re-established after the Vienna Congress of 1815. More recent examples include countries such as Poland, Ethiopia, Czechoslovakia, Albania, and Austria that were re-established after World War II. Even when a nation is deprived of its territory, the nation continues to exist. Its sovereignty and international legal personality continues to persist. The Dalai Lama, as the spiritual and temporal leader of Tibet, exemplifies this principle. In 1959, the Dalai Lama was exiled and forced to flee. Despite the challenges faced, the Dalai Lama continues to advocate for the preservation of Tibetan culture and garners worldwide support for Tibetan autonomy on the global stage. Similarly, from 1309 to 1376, the Pope of Catholicism had been in exile in Avignon. Despite this, he was recognized as the head of state as well as head of the church and given full privileges of the position after their return to Rome. Even in 1861, much of the papal territories had been lost, leaving the Pope with no sovereign territory other than the papal residence and related buildings. Yet his temporal powers were still acknowledged. He was recognized as a head of state, and later, the Lateran Treaty of 1929 formally re-established papal sovereignty over the Vatican City. The Sovereign Order of Malta further exemplifies this principle, retaining international recognition as a sovereign entity despite the permanent loss of their territory upon Napoleon's invasion in June 1798. Despite such permanent loss of territory, the sovereignty and the international legal personality of the Sovereign Order of Malta continue to persist. Much later in 1894, the order settled in Rome and acquired two properties, the Magistral Palace and the Magistral Villa that received extraterritorial status. Today, the order maintains diplomatic relations with 112 countries, issues its own diplomatic passports, currency, stamps, and vehicle registration plates, and has been granted observer status in the United Nations. All these examples of state re-establishment illustrate the principle of continuity of states, as per international law, that a state's legal personality persists over time. A nation continues to exist even after a complete loss of territory. A far more striking example is of the oceanic countries, which are under the threat of their entire nation being drowned and submerged due to rising sea levels owing to global warming. In response to such existential threat of climate change, Pacific Island nations, including Tuvalu, have enacted constitutional amendments and made international declarations affirming that their nation and their sovereign rights will continue to persist, despite their entire territory being lost to the sea. This proactive stance is highlighted in the Constitution of Tuvalu Act 2023 and the Pacific Islands Forum Declaration of 2021. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivoham, through the line of succession is the present 203rd Emperor of the Hindu Sovereign Kingdom of Surangi Samrajya. He was crowned on the 31st of December 2004 at the age of 26. Thus, by very same principles of the doctrine of continuity, through which the international legal personality of Portugal, Genoa, Poland, Ethiopia, Czechoslovakia, Albania, Austria, Vatican, Tibet, Sovereign Order of Malta, and several other nations has been recognized despite having undergone a period of exile, annexation, occupation by a foreign power, or despite loss of territory. The SPH Nithyananda Paramashivoham through well-established legal and historical facts about the Hindu sovereign state of the Surangi Samrajyam, derives all sovereign rights and powers of the royal lineage of the Surangi Samrajyam as its 203rd sovereign emperor, from his inheritance and continuation of the unbroken succession of the kingdom of Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajyam Sarvanapitha. Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajyam, through unification with 20 other sovereign Hindu states and sovereign ecclesiastical, historical entities, became part of the United States of KAILASA, which thus became a sovereign, independent juridical state, with the SPH Nithyananda Paramashivoham as the sovereign. Just as how the oceanic nations like Tuvalu have safeguarded their sovereignty from the existential threat of total submersion by amending their constitution and asserting that their sovereignty will persist regardless of the loss of their territory, KAILASA, which is a sovereign continuation of 21 sovereign Hindu states and sovereign ecclesiastical historical entities, is also reviving and continuing the Kumari Kandam Hindu nations that got submerged. As per the doctrine of continuity, these facts imply that the KAILASA's statehood is recognized by international law and manifests as a natural outcome of well-established historical legal facts. Share your time, talent, and treasure. Become part of KAILASA. Sign up as an eCitizen https://kailasa.ecitizen.info. Around 5,000 years ago, at the end of Mahabharat War, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilization consisted of 10,000 Hindu traditions, or sampradayas, that existed in 56 Hindu nations, 200 Hindu kingdoms, 1,700 Hindu provinces that covered more than 6 million kilometers square of Asia. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, SPH, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivoham, is the reviver of KAILASA, this ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. KAILASA is an unbroken cultural, religious, historical, civilizational, and sovereign continuation and revival of multiple of these historical Hindu sovereign states and Hindu ecclesiastical entities. The unbroken continuity of these ancient Hindu nations through KAILASA results in the legal recognition of KAILASA as per the international customary law, particularly the doctrine of continuity. The international law, the doctrine of continuity, implies that upheavals and revolutions within a country, changes in government, territorial adjustments, measures taken during military occupation, or other internal transformations do not negate the existence of the country, do not affect the legal personality and international obligations of the country or state. The Vienna Convention on Succession of States in Respect of Treaties, 1978, addresses these principles of the doctrine of continuity as it outlines international law during situation of state succession or continuation. International law recognizes a state's legal personality by recognizing its identity. This perspective extends even during the period when the given state or country is annexed or occupied by a foreign power. Even in such cases, the legal personality of the state is considered to persist, enabling its subsequent re-establishment. Historical examples dating back to the 18th century include cases like Portugal and Genoa that were re-established after the Vienna Congress of 1815. More recent examples include countries such as Poland, Ethiopia, Czechoslovakia, Albania, and Austria that were re-established after World War II. Even when a nation is deprived of its territory, the nation continues to exist. Its sovereignty and international legal personality continues to persist. The Dalai Lama, as the spiritual and temporal leader of Tibet, exemplifies this principle. In 1959, the Dalai Lama was exiled and forced to flee. Despite the challenges faced, the Dalai Lama continues to advocate for the preservation of Tibetan culture and garners worldwide support for Tibetan autonomy on the global stage. Similarly, from 1309 to 1376, the Pope of Catholicism had been in exile in Avignon. Despite this, he was recognized as the head of state as well as head of the church and given full privileges of the position after their return to Rome. Even in 1861, much of the papal territories had been lost, leaving the Pope with no sovereign territory other than the papal residence and related buildings. Yet his temporal powers were still acknowledged. He was recognized as a head of state, and later, the Lateran Treaty of 1929 formally re-established papal sovereignty over the Vatican City. The Sovereign Order of Malta further exemplifies this principle, retaining international recognition as a sovereign entity despite the permanent loss of their territory upon Napoleon's invasion in June 1798. Despite such permanent loss of territory, the sovereignty and the international legal personality of the Sovereign Order of Malta continued to persist. Much later in 1894, the order settled in Rome and acquired two properties, the Magistral Palace and the Magistral Villa that received extraterritorial status. Today, the order maintains diplomatic relations with 112 countries, issues its own diplomatic passports, currency, stamps, and vehicle registration plates, and has been granted observer status in the United Nations. All these examples of state re-establishment illustrate the principle of continuity of states, as per international law, that a state's legal personality persists over time. A nation continues to exist even after a complete loss of territory. A far more striking example is of the oceanic countries, which are under the threat of their entire nation being drowned and submerged due to rising sea levels owing to global warming. In response to such existential threat of climate change, Pacific Island nations, including Tuvalu, have enacted constitutional amendments and made international declarations affirming that their nation and their sovereign rights will continue to persist, despite their entire territory being lost to the sea. This proactive stance is highlighted in the Constitution of Tuvalu Act 2023 and the Pacific Islands Forum Declaration of 2021. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivoham, through the line of succession is the present 203rd Emperor of the Hindu Sovereign Kingdom of Surangi Samrajya. He was crowned on the 31st of December 2004 at the age of 26. Thus, by very same principles of the doctrine of continuity, through which the international legal personality of Portugal, Genoa, Poland, Ethiopia, Czechoslovakia, Albania, Austria, Vatican, Tibet, Sovereign Order of Malta, and several other nations has been recognized despite having undergone a period of exile, annexation, occupation by a foreign power, or despite loss of territory. The SPH Nithyananda Paramashivoham, through well-established legal and historical facts about the Hindu sovereign state of the Surangi Samrajyam, derives all sovereign rights and powers of the royal lineage of the Surangi Samrajyam as its 203rd sovereign emperor, from his inheritance and continuation of the unbroken succession of the kingdom of Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajyam Sarvanapitha. Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajyam, through unification with 20 other sovereign Hindu states and sovereign ecclesiastical, historical entities, became part of the United States of KAILASA, which thus became a sovereign, independent juridical state, with the SPH Nithyananda Paramashivoham as the sovereign. Just as how the oceanic nations like Tuvalu have safeguarded their sovereignty from the existential threat of total submersion by amending their constitution and asserting that their sovereignty will persist regardless of the loss of their territory, KAILASA, which is a sovereign continuation of 21 sovereign Hindu states and sovereign ecclesiastical historical entities, is also reviving and continuing the Kumari Kandam Hindu nations that got submerged. As per the doctrine of continuity, these facts imply that the Kailasa's statehood is recognized by international law and manifests as a natural outcome of well-established historical legal facts. Share your time, talent, and treasure. Become part of Kailasa. Sign up as an eCitizen https://kailasa.ecitizen.info. Around 5,000 years ago, at the end of Mahabharat War, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilization consisted of 10,000 Hindu traditions, or sampradayas, that existed in 56 Hindu nations, 200 Hindu kingdoms, 1,700 Hindu provinces that covered more than 6 million kilometers square of Asia. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, SPH, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivoham, is the reviver of Kailasa, this ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. Kailasa is an unbroken cultural, religious, historical, civilizational, and sovereign continuation and revival of multiple of these historical Hindu sovereign states and Hindu ecclesiastical entities. The unbroken continuity of these ancient Hindu nations through Kailasa results in the legal recognition of Kailasa as per the international customary law, particularly the doctrine of continuity. The international law, the doctrine of continuity, implies that upheavals and revolutions within a country, changes in government, territorial adjustments, measures taken during military occupation, or other internal transformations do not negate the existence of the country, do not affect the legal personality and international obligations of the country or state. The Vienna Convention on Succession of States in Respective Treaties, 1978, addresses these principles of the doctrine of continuity as it outlines international law during situation of state succession or continuation. International law recognizes a state's legal personality by recognizing its identity. This perspective extends even during the period when the given state or country is annexed or occupied by a foreign power. Even in such cases, the legal personality of the state is considered to persist, enabling its subsequent re-establishment. Historical examples dating back to the 18th century include cases like Portugal and Genoa that were re-established after the Vienna Congress of 1815. More recent examples include countries such as Poland, Ethiopia, Czechoslovakia, Albania, and Austria that were re-established after World War II. Even when a nation is deprived of its territory, the nation continues to exist. Its sovereignty and international legal personality continues to persist. The Dalai Lama, as the spiritual and temporal leader of Tibet, exemplifies this principle. In 1959, the Dalai Lama was exiled and forced to flee. Despite the challenges faced, the Dalai Lama continues to advocate for the preservation of Tibetan culture and garners worldwide support for Tibetan autonomy on the global stage. Similarly, from 1309 to 1376, the Pope of Catholicism had been in exile in Avignon. Despite this, he was recognized as the head of state as well as head of the church and given full privileges of the position after their return to Rome. Even in 1861, much of the papal territories had been lost, leaving the Pope with no sovereign territory other than the papal residence and related buildings. Yet his temporal powers were still acknowledged. He was recognized as a head of state, and later, the Lateran Treaty of 1929 formally re-established papal sovereignty over the Vatican City. The Sovereign Order of Malta further exemplifies this principle, retaining international recognition as a sovereign entity despite the permanent loss of their territory upon Napoleon's invasion in June 1798. Despite such permanent loss of territory, the sovereignty and the international legal personality of the Sovereign Order of Malta continue to persist. Much later in 1894, the order settled in Rome and acquired two properties, the Magistral Palace and the Magistral Villa that received extraterritorial status. Today, the order maintains diplomatic relations with 112 countries, issues its own diplomatic passports, currency, stamps, and vehicle registration plates, and has been granted observer status in the United Nations. All these examples of state re-establishment illustrate the principle of continuity of states, as per international law, that a state's legal personality persists over time. A nation continues to exist even after a complete loss of territory. A far more striking example is of the oceanic countries, which are under the threat of their entire nation being drowned and submerged due to rising sea levels owing to global warming. In response to such existential threat of climate change, Pacific Island nations, including Tuvalu, have enacted constitutional amendments and made international declarations affirming that their nation and their sovereign rights will continue to persist, despite their entire territory being lost to